Hi, you're welcome to this video. Now in this video we'll be treating some errors students do commit in math. Students writing Waec or students directly or indirectly involved in mathematics do make some mistakes. They think they are right actually, but the truth is they are wrong, and because of this they'll be surprised in the result they get after everything. So I want you to stay calm and watch till the end. I am very happy that you're here because I believe you are lucky before you see this. Lots of students, especially in Waec, common mistakes. Now, watch till the end of this video and learn what you have to learn. Now, the first error we'll be considering is almighty formula. The error in the quadratic formula. We know the quadratic formula. We have x is equal to negative b, positive or negative, square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Now, where is the mistake? Lots of students, when they want to make use of this formula, all they do is that they take this, they start from here. They make it two different fractions, two different terms. This is not correct. This is wrong. This is actually why many people fail this whenever they ask to find to solve for the values of x in a quadratic equation using the formula method or the quadratic formula. When you write this, you've not included this part. This fraction here, you have not made a single fraction. Doing this, you are wrong. So this is not the correct thing. This is actually wrong. Okay? The correct thing is that you must make sure that the fraction covers the negative b. I would actually like you to test something. I would like you to test to use values. For example, you say something like, let a be 1, b, let your a be 1, excuse me, and bb, let's say b is anything, let's say 5, and let your c be let's say 3. Okay, if this is actually the case, just test for when you don't have a fraction here and for when you have this. You will see the values are actually different, and the correct thing would be the value you get from here. Now, over to the next error. So, countless numbers of students do make this mistake, and this makes them fail those questions. Not as if they don't know anything, but it's just that simple fraction. Okay? So you should avoid mistakes like that. Now, let's deal on another error when we have the square root of a number. We say you solve, let's say you solve for x, okay, and you have something like this: x squared is equal to, let's say, 25. The question now is, what is x? What is the value of x? So you will be required to do what? To take the square root of both sides. Okay? Now, taking the square root of both sides, you would have x is equals to what? X is equals to what? Okay? Yes, you will say 5. X is equals to 5. But the question is it only 5? Okay? If you're solving, let's say, a question, let's say multiple choice question, and you're given the options, and in the options, you have I, positive 5 only, I, positive 5 and negative 5, I, negative 5 only. They say D, they say whatever. Now, what do you think is the correct answer? It is not just only positive 5, it is positive or negative 5. Now, square root of 25, the question means which two values or which value can multiply itself twice to produce 25. So 5 times 5, like positive 5 times positive 5, gives you 25. Negative 5 times negative 5 also give you what? 25. Negative 5 times negative 5. where negative can be said to cancel negative, or you say they evaluate a positive. 5 times 5 gives you 25. Therefore, the square root of 25 here is positive and negative 5, not just positive 5. Alright? So, I hope that mistake should be corrected. This is very, very important. Even in your theory questions, it is very, very important, because once you give someone one answer, they will mark your steps. Very good. At least you can still make a better mark there, but you've not made a complete mark. Alright, let's move over to the next error. The next error 5 students commit most. Now, that is addition and subtraction of variables with different powers. Addition or subtraction of variables with different powers. What does that mean? Let's explain this. Addition or subtraction of variables with different powers. That should bring to you variables. For example, let's have x to power 1, x to power 2, x to power 3, and so on. Now, this is a variable with different powers. Is that okay? Now, if you say x plus x squared is equal to what? Many students will say 2x squared. Okay? Others will say, is it x cubed? Lots of mistakes, lots of answers given. But the actual thing is that x plus x squared, the only thing that you can do is to factorize by taking out what is common. You factorize it this way. This is the highest thing you can do. You don't add, you can't even add, because variables with different powers can be added together. The only thing you can do there is to multiply them to take the product or their fraction. But to add them together or subtract one from the other, it is not proper. You can't even perform it. So this should be avoided. That is why we have polynomial equations. If things like this were to be evaluated, okay, in terms of addition and subtraction, then there wouldn't be anything like polynomial functions. Yes, polynomial function has to do with different powers: power 1, power 2, power 4, 10 to power n. What happens when you add this and this? It is actually wrong. Is that okay? Even if you have something like this, 1 plus 2x, the power of x here is 0. The power of x here is 1. So there are still different powers. You don't add. Is that okay? So if you are to simplify a linear function, non-linear, a quadratic function, yeah. If you are to simplify a quadratic function and you get to this point, don't go further. Is that okay? You simplify such that you've collected like terms, you've grouped all the x coefficient, all the x terms together, all the x squared terms together. You are done. The only thing is for you to search for the value of x. But that is for expression. Sorry, that is for expressions. Expressions, you know the difference between expression is that equation has the equality sign. From the name equality, we have equations. So expressions, you just express, just write things without an equality sign. That makes them expression. Okay, so I believe when you see expression of x or any variable, say y, any variable at all, okay, with different powers, and you have to perform addition or subtraction on them, please don't add them. Just allow it like that. But if it is in terms of equation, for example, you have x plus x squared equal to 0. The thing you do here is to factorize. I'm just using this as an example. You factorize, you will have 1 plus x equal to 0. So you can also solve for values of x, because there will be two values of x. In this case, x will be 0 or x will be negative 1. Okay. All right. Now, I believe this video is very helpful. Okay? We do maths for fun. I want you to stay connected with us by pressing the subscription button. Okay? Please subscribe to our channel for your own good. Errors in maths. Remember, the first is in the quadratic formula. The second is what? Was in the square root of numbers. And lastly, we did something on addition or subtraction of variables with different powers. You don't add, you don't subtract. square root of numbers will produce two values, positive and negative. While the quadratic formula, you make the fraction pass through all the terms in the right hand side. All right.